Hi Gemma, how are you feeling today?
Hello, Nikki. Yes, I'm well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to having a chat and telling you all about
Great.
the experience.
Yeah, me too. And before we start, then, can you just tell everyone who you are and just a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I will. Yeah, so I'm Gemma. Start off, I'm 56. I'm married. I've got two children, two girls, 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. So all living at home. So quite a busy household. I also work full time. So yeah, so quite a lot sort of going on, quite a busy life. Um,
And you've also had lots of renovations on your house as well, haven't you,
Indeed.
the last few
Yeah,
weeks?
yeah. No, the last couple of months actually, it's been going on for a while. So there's been other challenges, shall we say, that we've sort of faced with time. And I know it shouldn't be stressful. There's more important things in life than houses to make you stress. But just sort of living in a bit of disarray with workmen coming and going, people letting you down that were meant to come when they were meant to come, and taking time off work to do, be around, and then. People no showing, etc. So it has been, yeah, it's been a challenging few months. Although I joined the Midlife Mojo in the summer, little did I know that the last 4 months or so was going to be as busy as it was.
Yeah, that's it, because you didn't know that at the time you joined, and that was back in August. So, what made you decide to join the Midlife Mojo program back in August?
So as you say, back in August, I think I received there was an email from you about the Midlife Mojo program, which I read sort of with interest. I've certainly from my 20s, I was quite active in terms of exercising. I've attended various different programs, but always tended to go to exercise classes. And I think, Nikki, used to go to the studio and go to your Zumba, kettle size, clubber size. I think I tried all the different types of
You did.
exercise, and found that really helpful. Just I need structure, so I've never been someone that could go to a gym. Just felt that I'd like wander in and not really know what to do, not really feel very confident with gym equipment, especially if you're seeing everybody that seems to know what they're doing. So that's not something I've ever done. And then I think your studio, I think you stopped sort of running a bit. Was it just before COVID? Was it?
It's
And
just after COVID
after
that,
COVID.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and obviously everything stopped during COVID, and that's really, I think, the point where my exercising stopped. I had other things going on in my personal life, both parents passed away, etc. And then you can always find excuses, I think, for reasons why you can't get back into a routine, and I've just lost my way, I think, in terms of lack of routine, lack of structure, I think, around exercising. I then started to gain weight steadily sort of over the last few years. Um, and just felt like I had just lost that motivation, just didn't know how to get back on it again. So when I saw your email, and obviously we had a chat about it, I just felt that having that 12 weeks of structure, of having the not well, I think originally I thought it was just focusing more on the exercising side of things, because I've always been the type of person that if I'm exercising, I eat better, because I think I'm putting all this work into, whether it's attending a class for an hour or whatever it might be. I did run for a little while as well, and then I got an injury, so I think that stopped that. And so I would just be so good then about what I would eat when I know I've actually put that time and that effort into exercising. And I think with that not being present in my life, I then just started to eat things that I probably shouldn't have ate, and sort of just lost my way a little bit. And so I think when we chatted about the program, about the exercising side of things, but then also discovering the macro side of things, the nutrition. So as much as I knew I needed to losing weight, there was the exercise and there was the food aspect. I don't think I'd ever really thought before about what I was eating in terms of prioritizing protein, about that, the quantity of
Like getting the right
protein,
balance.
absolutely the balance with the protein,
Yeah.
hydrate that and the fat side of things. And although I sound like I'm sort of contradicting myself a little bit, although I'd kind of lost my way with my eating, I think I've never been a really bad eater. I think I haven't really got a sweet tooth. I do eat lots of fruit, and I think I thought, well, you know, what I'm eating is okay, but I think I was eating everything in the wrong quantities. I've always been a bit
We,
of a lover of bread, and
yeah, I think a lot of us are. And you're actually speaking, probably I've spoken to a lot of women, and through COVID, they didn't exercise just like yourself, and then they lost their way a little bit. But also, I think it's when life gets busy, as you said, you know, you have personal things to deal with as well. It's very easy to sort of not focus on yourself and not put yourself first because you've got these other things going on. But yeah, we jumped onto a call, didn't we, just before? So you could have it. I could tell you about the program. I asked you about your goals and to see whether the program would fit for you. And I think we met, you know, I mentioned obviously that we would talk about nutrition, it would be bespoke training program, bespoke nutrition, as well as the accountability and all that side of it. Um, so did you, when we had a little chat about that, what did you have any doubts or concerns before you signed up? I mean, you said straight away, actually, didn't you? I mean, what made you say, yes, that sounds great, I'm going to sign up?
I think the reason why I signed up after the chat was that you sort of made it very clear that it was realistic and sustainable, and I think that's what I have struggled with probably in the past. I think over that, as I say, the 5 years where I wasn't really regularly exercising, I might go to the odd class. I'd find a Zumba class or something like that, and I'd go a couple of times, then I'd stop going again. And I think the fact that you built my exercise program around what I could do at home, because like I say, I'm not a gym person. Um, so the fact that you asked me what sort of equipment I had at home, so I mentioned I'd got a bike, exercise bike, I'd got a few weights, a few resistant bands, etc. So in fact, you built my program, or we chatted about you building my program around what I'd already got. So I think I did invest in some other weights because I found I wanted weights where I could actually steadily increase the weights. So it wasn't expensive, but I thought, yeah, I'll invest in that, and that will help me. And also the fact that you asked me about what time I could commit to it, because like I say, I work full time, busy family life, etc. And so we discussed sort of around 45 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And I felt that that was realistic for me to do that at home. Because like I say, I think I've made excuses for myself before about not having time, and then you find yourself sitting on the sofa for 2 hours. You think, oh, actually, I could have done
Yeah,
something during
we
that
we
time.
all do that.
Yeah, which is fine, but it is the fact that, you know, I can't use that excuse because clearly there was time, but
It
I just
was
needed
time, yeah.
to prioritize really what I was doing with it. So yeah, so obviously when I started the program, thinking, well, if I can do two, brilliant, three. And I would probably say I've surprised myself that I think every single week, apart from went to America for 5 days in the middle of the program. Um, so apart from that time, I've actually been exercising 3 times a week,
You
and
have.
usually 45 minutes. You know, I haven't been cutting it short or anything. So yeah, I've surprised myself about how. I'm not saying it's easy because it's that again, it's back to that motivation of doing it. But then once you get in there and start doing it, you do your warm up straight in, and then before you know it, you're 45 minutes.
Exactly. And you've kept your days fairly consistent, haven't you? You've worked out what days that are good for you to get those sessions in. And I know that on one week you posted into the group. I couldn't get it in today, so I've got up on, or sorry, yesterday. So I've got up Monday morning, wasn't it?
That's
six
right. Yeah.
o'clock before
Yeah.
work, and you did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you made it a priority. And what's quite interesting is because obviously when I first spoke to you, you said, "Oh, I like fitness classes." classes, which I knew you did because you used to come to a lot of mine. So sort of like talking you around, well, actually, we do need to do weight training because that's really important for building muscle, helping to lose weight, all of those things as we get older as well, being strong. Um, and so it's, that's completely different to what you'd done before.
Oh, absolutely.
Completely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think before I focus more on cardio
Cardio.
based sort of exercise programs. So as I say, like your Zumba and your kettle size, etc. And I think I've always found that I prefer sort of the music based, almost like the dance
Yes.
music based type of classes as well. So yeah, I've never done weight training apart from the odd little bit that you might have in a Zumba toning or something like that. But the fact that this program has actually given me that the weight training the full body program looking at sort of the arms, the legs, the core, the whole thing in that program, and don't think I ever sort of believed that I'd have the results that I've had without really doing very much cardio.
Cardio.
And
Yeah.
I know the one thing we have chatted about, Nikki, and within the WhatsApp group is about regular movement. And I know you're sort of motivating us and reminding us on a regular basis most days what it is that we need to be focusing on. And I know that's my weak spot because of my job, working full time, etc. That I know I don't probably get as many of my steps in, as I should. So I think that obviously hasn't helped me in the past. But the fact that I know I'm doing that 3 times a week of the weight training exercise, that's my win. So although
Yeah.
you say you
Absolutely.
focus very much about not being perfect and just being sort of
Ah,
doing the best we can.
exactly. And what's interesting is we'll talk about your results later, but you've got fantastic results on doing those 3 weight training sessions, which are bespoke to you, because obviously I tailored it around what equipment you'd got and your goals. But without doing tons of cardio, which in the past, a lot of women, we did think that that's what we needed to do, go out running, doing all the cardio classes and everything. We thought that that would give us the results. But obviously, as we get older, things change and we need to change what we're doing. But it's not that cardio is bad because we still need cardio, but it's not. It's quite interesting how you said you didn't realize you would get the results you've got through doing mostly weight training alone. And you sat at your desk for quite a few hours, a long working day, aren't you, some days?
Yeah.
And you did say you struggle to sort of get some steps in, but you're more conscious of that. So on the days that you can get steps in, I know you said that that's what you try and do. So you're absolutely right. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent with what you can do and it fitting in with your
Yeah.
schedule, your home life. And that was really important to you, wasn't it? Because you wanted to make sure you'd spent time with your girls, and eating as a family, and you could fit these sessions because you weren't going out to a class that was set at a specific time. This is the fantastic thing about training at home is you can fit it in and you haven't got to travel anywhere. So you haven't got the traveling time to and from a class or a gym. Um, so it's really worked out well for you, has it's fitted in, which is absolutely great. And what would you say your experience was like in the first 12 weeks? Because I know we started in August, but the actual program officially started in September. So you had about 5 weeks sort of bonus because you joined up sort of on the early bird sort of time, didn't you? So what would you say that your experience was like in those first few weeks of the program?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was obviously firstly just getting to know the exercise program, because you've switched it obviously during I think was it about 6 weeks into the program that you gave me a new
Yeah.
program, which was great. So again, it's that thing around getting to know a program and then getting to the point where you think, oh, actually, I'm ready to try something different now and making it interesting if there's
And
that
you progressed in it. Yeah.
versatility, that change. But so I think initially it was just sort of getting to know, number one, the exercises and how to perform them correctly, and having the little videos. I know we've got the app now, which I find really, really helpful. And initially you'd send us sort of links to to YouTube, etc. So I could actually sort of follow the movements to make sure I was doing those correctly. So I think initially it was just about getting to know the exercise program. And I think it probably took a little bit longer at the start because I was just getting to know the exercises.
Yeah, because you hadn't done some of those before.
No,
They were new to
absolutely.
you.
They were
Yeah,
new. So I did find then it was probably taking me more like an hour at the start. And then as I've gone through, because I mean, I don't quite know it off by heart, but I'll check it and know what I'm doing. So it easily fits into 45 minutes now because I'm just straight into the next one without
yeah,
having to watch the videos. And then obviously the macro side of things, sort of getting to grips with that in terms of the quantities, the types of food. What I found really helpful is that you shared some meal plans and some recipes, because it was sort of thinking, clearly I've got an idea about protein, but just getting that extra bit of protein in. And then the tracking element as well. So sort of tracking and thinking, oh yeah, that's I've ate quite well today, and then it's not till you start tracking it that you actually think, actually, where I've gone higher on my carbs, and what is it that I've
yes.
ate that's led to be maybe being higher on my carbs and lower on my protein.
And was that the first time, sorry, Jen, was that the first time you had actually tracked your food and calories?
Yes,
It was, wasn't it?
yeah, I've never
Yeah,
really been into sort of calorie counting or anything like that. Like I say, it's not something I've never sort of really dieted before. I think I've just been more about having a balanced diet and doing more
yeah,
exercise, and that's generally what I've sort of done over the years. So I think just knowing what it is that you're actually putting into your body, um, and being able to track that, and also about the planning ahead as well. So sort of
yeah.
um putting tomorrow, if I'm going to work and I know exactly what I'm going to do for my lunch tomorrow, that I can actually put my breakfast, put my lunch, put my evening meal in, say before you've actually consumed the food,
Yeah,
you can do something
absolutely.
about it to tweak it. So that was
That's it. That was all the those are all the sort of tips that I gave you. And of course we talked about, we had a different topic each week in the on Zoom. And one of them was protein and macros and all of those things. So did you find that those and I think I put a couple of videos into the Facebook group as well about how to get more protein and things like. So did you find that those sort of training, those coaching calls helped? Because you were able to attend quite a few of those, which was
yeah,
absolutely great. I think
yeah,
if you can attend them, that
absolutely.
makes a difference, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I think. I mean, if I didn't attend it, I'd watch the playback
Sure.
sort of that week. But yeah, I absolutely found it helpful to attend because obviously we have the opportunity to ask questions, etc. But I think it's just that knowing why you're doing things is so important. So yeah, you can. Oh yeah, I need to have more protein, need to do more weight training, etc. But it's, well, how is that helping
Yeah,
you? And I
because we
think,
talked about why we were doing what we were
yeah,
doing, didn't we?
yeah,
That's and I feel as a coach that's really important, because if I'm someone's telling me to do something, I want to know, well, why am I doing it? Because
yeah.
then it makes more sense and I'm
Absolutely.
more likely to do it.
Absolutely. And I think that's the
Yeah.
thing. I think for me, this was all about, as I said at the start, being realistic with my
Yes.
expectations. Because I think if I'd have said to you, well, I want to exercise 5 times a week for 2 hours, and I'd have failed immediately. So it's
Yeah.
being realistic about expectations about what I could fit in my life, but also for me,
But
it's
what's interesting
sustainability.
is that you've only been doing those 3 sessions, 40, I say only, but what you've got fantastic results, and you haven't been exercising every single day.
No, no, no.
So,
So,
so
yeah,
it's and I think sometimes the belief is that we need to be doing some cardio or high intensity stuff every single day, but you're proof that we don't. So
no,
we'll talk about your
absolutely.
results in a moment. But one of the things, the just during the program, how did you feel about the support from me and also the group? Because we've got a WhatsApp group, as well as the weekly Zoom call. So can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I found that really helpful. Like you say, we've got the video calls, but also then we've got the sort of daily check-in via the group chats, and then obviously different people were saying when they were exercising, and if I did, because normally it's Tuesday, Thursday, and then I normally do my third workout over a weekend. I'm a bit more flexible with my third one because weekends can be a bit busier, etc. So if let's say I'd got to a Wednesday morning and hadn't done my first workout, and then I'm seeing that other people in the group were, it's like, oh, I better better get onto it and
And I
get it
do
done.
it.
So yeah, because I
It
think
is, and
again, yeah, I
it
think again in the past when I have um gone to classes, I've always done. I've been better if been going with friends. So if I've gone with a
yes,
friend, and it's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it, but yeah, I'll go, and then that motivates you to go. So I think when you know what other people are doing,
it's the accountability, isn't it?
absolutely, just
Yeah.
pushes you. So I think the group WhatsApp was really helpful, but also then the individual one-to-one WhatsApp group, WhatsApp chat
Yes,
as well.
just for
Yeah,
us to check in.
to
I
do.
did that in case there was anybody, not everybody wants to be part of the group or
Yeah,
finds that easy to perhaps
yeah.
keep in a group. And then it was giving you the options. Was there anything that surprised you about the program, well, I'll ask you that one first.
Um, yeah. I mean, I suppose I didn't think that I would get into it so quickly, if I'm honest with you. So although I said the first few weeks you should sort of get into grips with it all, I have surprised myself about, how my motivation and my mindset has definitely started to change. And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of a non-negotiable thing. I'll do my
Brilliant.
workout, and obviously you feel so much better, you're on the lead up to it, you really feel like doing this, and you do it, and
Yes,
obviously
yeah.
you feel so much better afterwards that you've done that, that you've
I
actually,
love that. I
yeah,
love that because we don't always feel like doing it, but
yeah,
actually we know that once we've completed our session, we always feel better. Um, so that's great because I mean so you had your 12 weeks plus the five, so it's more like sort of 16, 17
yeah,
weeks really,
yeah,
wasn't it?
it was.
And you've kept that consistency up through the whole of that time. And of course you've carried on. You're going into phase two,
I
so you're
am, yeah.
still continuing with
I
it.
am. Yeah, well, I think, as I say, during that 12 weeks, I did have a couple of periods. I think when I was on holiday, etc. And
Yes.
although it was obviously harder to exercise, I'd focus then on what I was eating, again with the balance because you're away, etc. But just thinking about what I was eating and trying to get that extra protein, etc. So, but yeah,
That's great, isn't it? Because your
yeah,
mindset's changed
yeah,
about just, because I've said to everyone, if you go on holiday, you've got to enjoy your holiday. And it's like this month being, like the festive season, it's just enjoy it. But we've made plans on how we can enjoy it so that it doesn't ruin all of the
absolutely.
progress that we've made. Did you actually think in the program, did you have any moments where you thought, yeah, I can actually do this? When was that for? Would you say that was fairly early on as well?
Yeah, I'd say after the sort of first 3 weeks of me consistently doing my workouts and actually finding it wasn't too onerous, and it wasn't like I felt like then I didn't have time for everything else in my life by doing that.
Brilliant,
Um, yeah, it absolutely did surprise me that, yeah, just slotted into my life as easy as it did. And even some
fantastic.
of the dietary switches that I did again, um, prior to the program, I was having Greek yogurt and fruit, but it was just adding the protein powder in, maybe a few cashew nuts, etc. And then for my lunch, like I say, I like my bread. So instead of having a sandwich, I tend to bring a wrap in with some salad and cottage cheese. And I find that's really easy actually, because I just bring a tub of cottage cheese in with me and then the wrap, and then I just make it when I get to work. So again, it's actually saved me time the night before in the
Yeah,
morning because I've just have it all ready. It's in the fridge at work, and then have that. And so I think that adjustment to the things that I'm eating as well was much easier than I thought it would be. And they're all foods that I enjoy. It's not like I'm not enjoying, what I'm eating.
yeah, and that's important. We've got to enjoy the things that we
Mm,
like. I mean, obviously, if we like chocolate, we still want to be able to have it. But we're trying to get the balance with the rest of it, the protein, carbs, and fats, and it can still
yeah.
work in because it's flexible dieting is
Oh, it
what we're
is.
doing.
It is. And I think, as you say, you can almost in the week give yourself a little bit of, where you've maybe had less calories during the week, and then at the weekends allow
Yeah.
yourself those treats and
Yeah.
what you call it, so not it's not comfort food, you call it oh, I've forgotten the
Soul
name.
food.
Soul food,
Soul
that's
food.
it,
We
soul
all need
food.
our soul
We all
food.
need our soul food. And I think for me, I like a glass of wine, so as I say, I haven't really got a sweet tooth. So I know then I can have that at the weekend because the credit I've sort of built up during the week,
Yeah.
and that hasn't then had detrimental effects to my
Not at all,
progress.
because yeah, because your results, we'll talk about them now because that leads nicely into that. Um, you've had great, fantastic results. What would you say are what have you noticed in your body since doing, over those last sort of 17, 18 weeks?
Yeah. So as you say, there's been weight loss, which was
Yeah,
if I'm honest, that was my original
it
goal.
wasn't your goal. No, it wasn't, was it?
Yeah. So I knew I needed to lose some weight. I wasn't excessively overweight by any means, but I did know I needed to lose a bit of weight. I needed to feel more comfortable in
And
my
how much did
clothes.
you lose in total,
So
Gemma? Was it
all
9?
together, yes, 9, 10 pounds. Now I think I've lost a little bit more weight. And so I've actually gone, I think I'm even below my target weight by a pound or so. But it's also not just about the weight, it's about body composition. So I think the fact that again, because of the weight training, sort of seeing that difference in terms of the old bingo wings,
Muscle
building up a little
tone
bit
is
of muscle
changed.
tone
Yes.
in arms, etc. Legs, stomach. So it's that sort of body composition, and I think that's why for me it was important to move on to phase two because I think we had a chat towards the end of the program, and I said that was the thing. I was worried that with not maybe having the regular check-ins, etc., whether I might start to lose my way a little bit, even though I was, very pleased at how consistent I'd been. But also, I felt there was still a little bit more work to do in terms of the body
Yes, because it's
composition.
I think it's important to note that you've got to your ideal weight, but so now we're looking at body recomposition.
Yeah,
So obviously you've never done this before. So it was your phase two will be looking at how you can maintain your weight. We're probably going to be looking at increasing your calories over that time a little bit so we can find where your maintenance is and then work on sort of increasing muscle mass and decreasing body fat without losing your weight, really. So that's your next phase.
yeah,
And I know we spoke about it, and you said, "Oh, I'll have a think about it." And I think I sent you an email, didn't I, saying, "Well, this is what
little
I
look.
will do when I'm
Yeah,
working with you in the next phase." And you decided, yes, you needed that sort of extra sort of help to go into that
yeah,
phase.
yeah,
Um, you know, it's just fantastic because you didn't, to lose £10 in that time when you didn't think you were going to be losing that much weight, with what you were doing. And that's just, and the good thing you've just said about, you've noticed a change in your legs and your stomach as well, because a lot of women come to me sort of having put weight on around their belly and they feel like, oh, they can't lose it, but you have noticed that change.
yeah.
I know, yes, you've had weight loss, but you've also had changes in your physique as well, haven't you? Which is fantastic.
Yeah, and the
um
fact that I think we focused on things like not just looking at scales and what your weight
yes.
is, but also the photographs so that you can actually see the change in your body,
Yeah,
in terms of body
and the
shape
measurements.
and the measurement
Yeah,
as well. That's obviously helped
and
then.
also, yes, and we also sort of talked about sort of changes in strength, energy levels and your
Yeah,
confidence. So what would you, and your mindset, really, we talked
yeah,
about all of those
yeah.
things. Would you say, have you noticed changes in all of those things? You've already mentioned that your mindset has shifted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we talked about sort of, mindful eating, right, especially with the Christmas period, that you're not just sitting there with a bowl of nuts or chocolates or whatever in front of you, that you're letting yourself having those treats, but just being a bit more mindful about it. But no, definitely, I think for me, it's been more around the strength side of things. Um, And I know we talked, I think, on one of the first coaching sessions around obviously what can happen as you get older in terms of muscle loss and postmenopause, etc. And obviously an increase in falls and fractures and how this, and that's what I'm very much seeing it is. It isn't just looking after myself now, but it's looking after myself in the future. So that I can, hopefully, my mum had osteoporosis, bless her, and fell and ended up having to have a hip
Hip
replacement.
replacement. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
So you want to make sure that you don't go along that route. I mean, obviously,
absolutely,
years ago, women didn't have perhaps the education and the perhaps the knowledge around, how and women didn't weight train so
no,
much back in those
no.
days. But knowing that actually we can do something about that to help increase our bone strength as well as muscle mass and all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
It's
not
like
waiting until something happens to do that.
exactly,
It's
exactly. So you're
doing it
future
now.
proofing yourself,
Yeah,
aren't you? And
yeah,
and and I think that was important for pretty much everyone on the
yeah,
program, which is great because I think it's great for me to see that women are embracing doing some strength training now, knowing the reasons why, because they don't want to become frail as they get older. So, and of course, that gives you more confidence as well when we're stronger. So,
yeah.
would you say that in your day-to-day life when you're doing your daily tasks or weekly tasks, would you say that you noticing you are stronger in doing
Yeah,
some of
no,
the things on
definitely.
lifting and
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. I'm finding that, some of the heavier shopping bags and stuff that I'm managing them easily, sort of in and out of the car, etc. So I mean, obviously we've been doing this during the winter. I mean, I do love my garden. We'll go out and do gardening. So I haven't obviously done that during this period, but again, I could see how that would help
yeah,
with that element
definitely.
in terms of just that stamina, but also the strength. And as you say, building the confidence and I think energy levels, yes, definitely feeling, but I would context that with the fact that I have had a lot going on, as I say, in this period as
Yes.
well, with the house renovations, etc.
But and
So,
that's interesting though, isn't it? Because do you feel like with all that that's been going on, having done this program and focusing on you a little bit, doing your, with mindset, health, and fitness and diet, would you say that that's helped you cope with
oh
the
yeah,
having the house?
definitely. No, no, definitely. I think I don't know what stress levels would have been like if I hadn't have been doing
Yeah,
it.
it
But as
definitely
you
helps
say,
reduce stress.
it
Yeah,
does, and I think
yeah,
it isn't just about the results. It's about the mindset, but it is also about that me time. The fact that you are actually
yeah,
investing that 45 minutes to an hour on yourself. And I
absolutely.
think as busy women, we often that are working and have got families, we
Yeah,
often don't do that. We put ourselves last, don't we? So just
yeah.
to have that me time, not to you might go out and meet friends, which is great, but it is just something you're doing on your own. And I tend to sort of put music on or whatever as
I was
I'm,
going to
I'm
say,
doing it. And so
yeah.
time flies, yeah. So
It does. And if you think in the scheme of things, 45 minutes 3 times a week, that's not a lot.
it'll,
We should
yeah,
be able to find that
yeah,
time for us. And most women I speak to, we all seem to put everybody else first and ourselves last. And it's actually not selfish to put ourselves first because we need to be there to help, our family and maybe elderly parents or children and grandchildren or all of those sort of things. What would you say you're most proud of achieving in the 12 weeks?
I think it is. I mean, it sounds a bit corny saying it, but it is the fact that I've got my mojo back. I've got that
Yeah.
motivation back, which is what I knew. I was aware that I'd lost that. I needed to find a way to start getting that structure back into my life. And so, yeah, so I think just the fact that I feel like I've got that motivation and something, as I say, that I feel is sustainable and consistent moving forward.
You can continue with
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
love that because that was the whole, the whole, that's why I called it the midlife mojo method because, I'd lost my mojo back sort of probably around COVID didn't help at all. There was lots of things going on for me that wasn't good. But I thought, if I'm feeling like this, then I know other women are going to feel like it as well, because we're giving our all to lots of different things. So that was the whole, like, that's why I named it that. So for you to say you actually have got your mojo back from doing the program, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, no,
That's the best.
absolutely does what it says on the tin, so to speak,
Yeah. Yeah,
in terms of how
brilliant.
it sort of helps us all progress. Yeah.
And how, just sort of talking about some sort of emotional, because obviously you've talked about the results, which have been absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see how good it can get for you, Gemma, because by the end of the next, like, sort of in March time, that phase 2, I know that you're going to see even more results. So I'm really looking forward to that. But how do you feel about yourself now?
Um, Again, I just think that knowing that I could do it, just having that faith in myself,
Yeah,
that it was something that I could see through, and not not fall at the first hurdle, so to speak.
yeah.
So yeah, just say getting that faith back in myself
And
to
you should be proud of
yeah,
that, because you've
absolutely,
put in the effort,
yeah,
you've put in the time,
yeah,
and it's paid off. But you know, that's the thing, I think, from my experience as a coach of nearly 30 years, it's the adherence that people have trouble with. Um, Doing it for a few weeks is fine, but
yeah,
sticking to it for long term,
yeah,
because health and fitness, as we've talked about, is forever. We've got to do this for, if we want to keep healthy, isn't something you do for 12 weeks and then stop. It
yeah.
needs to continue.
And I think again, it's that
Um,
mindset change
it
and kind of
is.
that cognitive behavioural therapy thing.
Yeah.
It's about how your behaviour is then starting to affect how you're feeling,
Yes.
And
Yeah.
as a woman that is, in my mid 50s, knowing that I can feel better about myself, feel stronger, feel more comfortable, more confident in the clothes that I'm wearing,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
yeah,
It just, it just, the confidence just keeps giving, doesn't it? Like, you've lost the weight. Yes, it wasn't just about that, but you feel better in the way you look without your clothes. You feel amazing with your clothes on. You're stronger. You can do, you can cope with stressful things better, because you're giving yourself that time, and you're feeling, like you say, you've got your mojo back, and so it's easier to cope with those more stressful things. So I absolutely love all of that. I mean, you've already said, really. I was going to ask you, what has this journey given you beyond the physical results? But it is that mindset and the belief
yeah,
that you can do it,
yeah,
and yeah, trusting in yourself. Because sometimes, especially if we've tried things in the past that perhaps haven't worked, or maybe it's just because we haven't been in the right frame of mind at that particular time,
yeah,
then we start to think, oh, no, I can't do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't trust myself
yeah.
to stick the
No.
course. Um,
And I think that's
so that's,
and I think that's the reason probably why I've never really been one to go to a gym, because I think unless you've got a personal instructor working next to you, I know I need that structure, I need that program to follow, um,
yeah,
to help
I
me.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I never go to the gym without having a program, like a plan. Never.
mm,
And I could, because obviously I know what I'm doing. But I think actually, even you say you couldn't go to a gym. I think you could if you wanted to now, because have
yeah,
you've got that bespoke program, and you know what some of the exercises are. I know it suits you best to stay at home,
yeah,
because obviously it works in with everything.
yeah.
Um, but if you wanted to, Gemma, you could definitely
Yeah,
go to the gym.
no, absolutely. And I think, I mean, I've got, sort of a plan for sort of retirement, maybe sort of 3, 4 years time. And I think I know at that time, when I have got more time, obviously, on my hands, that's probably going to be the time that I would definitely feel like I could very confidently start going to a gym, and it's
Yeah,
just having a program to
which is,
follow.
yeah,
And knowing it's a program that it's a full body workout as well, that I'm not just working one part of my body. that it is actually a program that covers everything.
Is
So
everything.
yeah,
Absolutely. And it all of the programs were bespoke. Each and every one of you in the group had got a different program because of your goals and because of where you were training and what equipment you'd got.
yeah,
But I think the key is to have a plan so that you're not thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Because then that makes it easy, doesn't it, for you to think, right, okay, um, I'm gonna, I know what I'm doing. I've got this program. Nikki said, do this, this, and this, and that's what I need to do. Whereas if you're just going into your room with your equipment, you're thinking, right, what am I gonna do?
yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
the same with going into a gym. And obviously, we need if you want specific results, you need specific training program, not just doing something different every time. That
Yeah.
isn't really going to get you the
No,
results you want.
no, absolutely. And I think because I also, when I did the questionnaire before starting, obviously I'd got an injury from running, and so
Yeah.
some exercises you gave me were to strengthen those muscles as well,
Yes.
around my hip flexors, etc. So again, that helped, to make sure that I'm again not injuring a weak area in my body.
That's yes.
Going through the
Yeah.
program as well, so that was also really helpful. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad that really helped because I've had injuries myself and I know how important it is to strengthen those areas so that you can then do you're strong enough to then perform some
yeah,
other exercises
yeah,
further on down the line.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um, Absolutely fantastic, Gemma. Thank you so much for your time today, for all of the effort that you've put into the program. You should be so proud of yourself because you've been consistent. I love that you've managed to join the majority of the Zoom groups as well, and being part of like being able to have chats on those. And you deserve the results that you've got because you've put that effort in. But what I love is that you haven't found it, you're not exhausted from doing it. It fits in with your life. You're surprised that you've got the results you're doing, just doing less exercise perhaps than you did back in
Oh,
your 30s and
yeah,
40s.
absolutely. Yeah. Because I think when
And
I did exercise, which I know is obviously weight-based exercise, but yeah, no, absolutely. The fact that it's something that's so sort of manageable with my
yeah.
life and at home, etc. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
And what would you say to someone who thinks, oh, I'm too old or I don't have time, online programs don't work? What would you tell another woman who's perhaps on the fence about joining this program?
Just I've absolutely no regrets. Do it. Because as I say, I read that first email and then we had the chat and yeah, like I said, it's just never. I really didn't think that I would have these results in 12 weeks. So it is just giving it a go, doing it, and I think you'll be surprised at how well you do and the results that you'll get. So go for it.
Brilliant. And of course, you're in your mid 50s, so you're not too old. You are
No.
working full time. You've
Yeah.
had renovations done at home. So you could have easily said, I don't have time. You didn't let that become an excuse because
Yeah.
we worked around
Yeah.
what you'd got.
Yeah.
And online programs, they do work because it's just been all online. This,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I just think
And
it's so, holistic. It's such a rounded program with the
oh,
macros, the workouts, the motivation from the education, the
mine's,
fitness,
yeah.
the check-ins, the groups. So I think the fact that it's so multifaceted in what it gives you, that's what makes it work. So it's not one aspect of it,
No.
it's the
And you're
whole.
not left on your own to do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
You've got me to guide you.
Yeah.
And the other ladies in the group have been
Yeah,
fantastic as
yeah,
well. You're all
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So I don't think I ever
Um,
realised there would be so many factors, aspects to it that would all play an equal part in
yeah.
helping to get
No, that's
going.
fantastic because it isn't like you said, it's not just one thing. It's not just a workout. Oh, do this workout and you're going to get these results, or just do this, because I haven't given anyone a specific nutrition program and said, right, follow that, because obviously we all like different things. And I want everyone to be able to do this for themselves and not have to rely on a set out sort of plan, nutrition plan.
Yeah.
But it isn't just one of those things. Like you said, it's a combination of things. And it's the accountability as well, which I've sort of done the accountability in a completely different way to what I've done in other programs. And from the feedback I've had from yourself and others, is that has made a difference with those regular check-ins as well. Who would you recommend the Midlife Mojo program to?
But just generally, who I'd recommend it to? Yeah. So as
Yeah,
I say,
because
anyone, as I say, yeah, women that are in sort of 40 plus age group. It doesn't matter what, whether you're working, whether you're not working, whether you've got a family or you haven't got a family. I think, yeah, anyone that just wants to, that has kind of whatever reason lost their way a little bit like I had, just to, yeah, get on board and give it a go. And don't think you'll have
brilliant.
any regrets. I certainly haven't.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gemma. And why? I mean, I know you haven't really done any other programs, have you? I think you've done more like, but why do you think this program has been successful for you? Where perhaps, because some women have tried lots of different programs and
Yeah.
they might think, I've tried everything, nothing works. So, what do you think about this program? Why it works?
Um,
Is it because what we've just said really about the
Yeah, I just think the fact that it's not just about doing one thing. I think
yeah,
it's just that holistic um aspect to it, the fact that it's different elements that all, as I say, support achieving that end goal. I think definitely the education, I think knowing why you're doing things, as well as you say, the accountability and the regular check-ins, I think. So yeah, so I think it's a combination of lots of different
of
things.
everything. Brilliant. And of course we've
That's
got the app. We
yeah,
didn't have that straight
yeah,
away because I was building that up, but
yeah,
and you mentioned earlier that has helped. How would you say that is easy to use?
yeah,
And again, I put all your programs in
yeah,
for
absolutely.
you
So I think,
individually.
yeah, so I think for the workout, the fact that you've got the little videos that you literally just click on straight away, so you're not having to sort of come in and out to
Yes.
YouTube or whatever to see it. So it's literally there, that you can click on and then you watch it for a few seconds to see what the exercise is. So I think that's really helpful. And then also the fact you can log your progress as well. So
Yeah.
obviously prior to that, you know when you're working hard, but we talked about the perceived effort and the fact that you're actually then scoring how it feels.
Yeah.
You're working as hard as you can be, and then tracking that from kind of week to week and just seeing that progress. And it does gives you a little celebration when you've
Yeah.
actually sort of exceeded your own goals, sort of things with as you've progressed. Just seeing the fact that I've gone up now with my weights as well, and that sort
It's
of
great, isn't it? Because
yeah,
you're like, oh, I'm getting stronger,
yeah,
and like, how strong can I get? That's
yeah,
just
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
And how would you sum up your experience in one sentence?
Oh.
Maybe a long one, but
Um, yeah, just the fact that, as I say, just getting that motivation back, finding something that is now realistic but sustainable, and that's sort of achieved all the goals and more than what I originally thought I would before coming into the program. And I've still got more work to do. So as you say, come at the end of phase 2, it'll be interesting to see further down the line what further progress I can make. So yeah, thank you.
yeah, I'm excited for the next phase for you. Honestly, it's going to be because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from a more,
Yeah, yeah,
you're starting from this position now, which isn't
yeah,
sort of having to, you know, learn all the things. You've got so much more knowledge
yeah,
and the consistency already there, so we can sort of take it up another
yeah,
level, which is
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. And obviously, you would do it again because you are continuing with the
yeah.
program. So that says a lot. And I've got quite a few of you that are continuing into phase 2. So I just want to say thank you so much. And if anyone is watching this video, and would like to know more about the Midlife Mojo method and get some fabulous results like Gemma has got, I'm going to just pop the details underneath the video. Just message me and we can have a chat, no obligation, just as Gemma did right at the beginning. We had that chat and you talked about your goals and how this program can help you. So if you'd like to learn more, just follow the information below. But thank you so much, Gemma, for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see what happens in the next phase. We'll have to have a catch-up video, won't we, at the end of March and see where you are then.
You definitely know. And thank you so much, Nikki.
You're
So
welcome. Thank you, Gemma. I'm just gonna